Hello, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good whatever and wherever. Today we are on Speed Gaming 3, bringing you a Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 3 match between In the Name of DT of Team WJPBTB and Revenant of Team Did You Check Your Boot. Calling this match today, I am Reg. I am joined by NY Rambler. So, Rambler, what are we playing today?
We are playing Casual Boots, also known as Standard Defeat Ganon, but we get gifted a free sword and the Pegasus boots to start.
I think everybody will agree that you cannot go wrong with some free boots.
Oh no, I don't know a single randomizer player that does not like the Pegasus boots.
I mean, you go fast, they're fun.
Yeah.
Like, going fast is always fun. Going slow is not fun. That's why we're racing the randomizer instead of just casually playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, these runners here should be off in just a few seconds, I believe. But until then, like I said, we're bringing you Season 3 of the Randomizer Invitational League. And these two teams both have 6 points. They've won twice, they've each lost twice as well. So, trying to break a tie, advance in the standings a little bit.
Yeah, I know WJPDTB, they went 2-0 week 1, but then went 0-2 week 2. I'm not sure how Did You Check Your Boot got to this point.
They split with both teams they played.
Got it.
In each of the first 2 weeks. Revenant played last week against Ack the Boker, and he played in week 1 in a co-op mode paired with Dwarfjig. So, and he has actually split his 2 matches so far. Meanwhile, DT, I believe, has only played once. I have to double check that. I can hear something going on. Is there?
I can't see anything though.
I can't either. Well, we'll try to get this resolved. Please hold tight, people. Sounds like the uncle had cash.
Yeah, that sounds like 20 rupees to me. That's how you know we've played this game a lot. We know exactly what's going on in the background. That was not a piece of heart, but it was an item of some sort.
Yeah, we will try to get this resolved, like I said, as quickly as possible. Chat is saying it's a green potion that apparently they can see. So they have a bottle. That's a good start. Because once they get out of the castle here, they'll be able to make the usual Kakariko plays and route the Sick Kid in with that, so a bit extra efficiency there.
The commentator's side is what's down a little bit, it looks like.
Yeah. In the meantime, though... Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was in the map test, so I now have the hard stream. So we're a little bit behind now, but we're trying to fix things on our end.
Yeah, and we'll get everything back up to speed once that happens. But in the meantime, I would like to talk about one of the more underrated advantages to having boots for this castle escape sequence, and the casual boots mode in general. You might notice these guys are not really making any particular attempts to farm bombs. They're just killing the enemies that are in their way that they need to kill. Because that bomb wall in the back of the sewers, you can just dash into it and it breaks.
And in case you're wondering if your mouse is on the screen, no, it is not. That is just DT sprite.
Yeah, I don't know how DT manages it. I get disoriented just watching that sprite, but he does a very good job playing with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we did see 8 slashes to the ball and chain guard on DT's side. And we are headed back up towards the Dark Cross. Small key is in hand. We have not seen the map yet, but going to be mostly items from here on in.
All right, looks like it's working again on our side, so that's good. We can now give you live, not 5-second delay, as DT makes his way back up to the main floor of Hyrule Castle.
Yep, and just dashing through all these long straightaways here. We normally look at like the 5:45-ish to 6 minutes as a good time for doing this sequence and reaching the sanctuary, both in vanilla NMG and the randomizer, each of which brings their own little complexities to it.
Yeah, but in casual boots, you'll see those times be close to 4.5 minutes, or maybe even close. Yeah, 4.5 minutes is usually what we'll see. Oh, sorry, not 4.5 minutes. What am I talking about? Around 5 to 5.5 minutes is what you'll see.
Yeah. And we are seeing DT a bit ahead of the pace here, but both runners well on pace for that. And it's the time save of just not at all having to even attempt to farm bombs on top of just the speed of the boots, because there are a lot of long straight runes in the castle. Looks like DT was trying to kill some rats, see if he could get a couple drops, because even though you don't need bombs for the back sewers, you still want them for Kakariko. But one of the lesser known things in this game, if you kill an enemy with it by dashing through them, and they don't drop a fixed thing like a small key, like we saw the key rat earlier, if you dash to an enemy, they will not drop a prize pack.
But if you're worried about bombs, you don't have to worry about it anymore, as we found 6 of them in the back of Escape. So both these runners will have plenty of bombs for Kakariko.
Yep. 6 of them should get them through Kakariko, as well as the entire South Shore, unless they want to use them to kill mini Moldarums faster.
CDT with the 512 escape sequence. Very, very nicely done. Very quick.
Revenant looking to be about 12 to 15 seconds behind-ish here. Yeah, right on 15. Yep. But now is when the game actually starts. Like in a race, being able to get a quick advantage out of escape worth a few seconds is something, but you have done absolutely nothing routing intensive with the randomizer, and that's where time tends to be made or broken.
Yep, we see the map check that we have a pendant over in Desert and crystals at Hera and Eastern.
Free boots, pendant Desert. Seems good. I don't know.
Well, there's no book yet, so won't have to worry about Desert for a little bit at least.
Yeah. Could see the book. Could put it off way later till we've got like Flute Mid Smear or that fun combination to get in the back, but all the same.
Yeah, I missed what was on Lumberjack Ledge there.
Yeah, I did as well.
The chat saying it's what I thought it was looked like the bottom end of a bottle. So it's another bottle, so we will not need to kill Aga for that at least.
Yeah, but that is one of those locations that becomes a fair bit spookier in a starting boots mode. Just because in the normal mode, the boots does lock that item. You don't generally have to worry about actually getting it until then. Now moving on into Kakariko here. Gonna see Blind's hideout in the well first. Pretty much the standard north to south stuff.
Yeah, you say that the race really starts once you leave Escape, but well, we're still gonna see both runners take very similar paths until, I don't know, Darkhold access. Maybe they'll branch off after Kakariko. You never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Blind's hut, not much other than just rupees. At least in the front half.
Yeah, you can check a stun prize. That's not nothing.
Boomerang in the back.
Yeah, I kind of like seeing like plays that aren't immediate Kakariko in races, but it is generally the best opening play by numbers just because of sheer item counts, especially when you get a bottle in the castle sequence.
When we find something that could be useful down the road, we find the quick medallion here in the well. But other than that, haven't seen too much here. Kakariko hasn't really paid off just yet. The Quake is nice, the Boomerang's nice, and the money's nice. But nothing is really essential at this point.
Yeah, like that Quake might open up Mire, Turtle Rock, maybe both, but all the same, it could just be useless like Bombus sort of is in the main game, or the vanilla game.
Alright, taking ahead has a bottle, so we will see Sick Kid our first time through here.
And more cash.
And more cash.
The
This Kakariko really has been very underwhelming.
Yeah. 14 checks in the village, and we've got a red boomerang and a Quake medallion to show for it.
With Casual Boots, the item in the library is available to you right away. This time, it's just a piece of heart, though.
Yeah. Our last hope for something useful here is this race game that DT is blind checking. Don't need to waste a bomb on it because you got the boots, can just bonk the wall.
Yeah, and he's probably thinking, you know, there was nothing in Kakariko so far, so maybe we'll just blind check this, and this will be what we need to get a little semblance of where to go. And the Master Sword, yeah, it's not a super semblance, but we'll take it.
Yeah. It's not terrible. It doesn't open up any new locations, though, because Agate Tower doesn't actually count as locations without a lamp.
Yeah, and we don't have the book yet for the tablets down the road either. So, I mean, we're still not turning that down, and obviously Revenant's going to go pick it up now that he sees it. But we're going to continue on here on DT side, go to South Shore, the well, Mini Moldorm Cave, and we'll see where he goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, progression's got to be somewhere, so this is the next most dense location. And if it's not, well, we can do the fake flipper play to check Zora after this. Or since we've got the boots, it's more likely to be some kind of water walk play. But at the same time, the logic there is sketchy at best, even though we have all the money.
Looks like DT's going to deviate a little bit and go check Agina's cave first. This is a play that some runners do make in lieu of going right immediately. We're going to get scouting the ledge here, see if there's anything there. Single arrow, no. That's nothing.
Thanks, game. On the other hand, with Pendant Desert, if you just don't ever have to come back to this area till you're doing Misery Mire, then that's cool too. But if there is something here, this is a location that a lot of runners will put off for a very long time.
Well, that is an item that we'll probably have to see eventually on Revenant's side relatively soon anyway. The Power Glove opens up way too many items, and is probably our key to Dark World. So Revenant will be heading over there eventually. Hopefully he doesn't get baited into an Aga instead of checking that, though.
Yeah, I don't think he will unless the other glove shows up somewhere else in these early game checks. DT, sorry, go on.
Yeah, this is a nice job by DT checking the stun prize. Just 5 arrows though, but many more. Oh, there's okay. So the book being there is actually good for Revenant because he might check Desert and thus Agina's cave somewhere down the line.
Yeah. Meanwhile, that means Desert's a rabbit hole that DT is probably not as inclined to follow, especially without fire, because he knows that there's only trash on the ledge, and he's already seen Agina's cave.
Yeah, both our runners do have Zora money, so you'll probably see this Ice Rod Cave play, which is just 10 arrows, lead all the way to checking Hobo, checking Waterfall Fairy with the Water Walk, and then go to Zora.
Revenant did dash on the edge of that pit there, dashing out of the cave. That is the setup for the Water Walk with the boots. So now he's going to jump off this while facing down and Water Walk.
The issue with this way of doing is that you would have to go to, well, he might lose the Water Walk doing this. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think you lose it if you go to Hobo.
Yes, you cannot get it back. He'll have to fake flipper out of Hobo.
Yeah, and then with no Moon Pearl, you can't get into Pyramid Fairy, Waterfall Fairy in fake flipper mode. So that's what DT's going to do. He's going to go to Waterfall first. And you see, Revenant's just going to save and quit instead of doing Waterfall Fairy and Zora. So DT's probably just going to either put off Hobo altogether, which is definitely something you can do, or go to Hobo now and then come back again later. But he's probably just going to go straight to Zora here. Yeah. He'll put off Hobo till later. Obviously, Hobo's nothing, so DT's not missing too much, just missing 300 more rupees. And ooh, okay, the hook shot is...
DT can... he can't get that right now.
Not right now, but he can get it if he stores a Water Walk again later.
With the Moon Pearl.
Back there. Oh, you need the Moon Pearl to make that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I know... Oh, never mind. There's the Moon Pearl.
Yeah. So now if the DT really wants to make that play, he could do that.
Yeah, the problem is that would be an out of logic hook shot. It would give him all of Death Mountain, which would also be completely out of logic because no lamp. So we'll see what happens once he gets his Moon Pearl, what he does. But
yeah,
he's going to go towards Desert with that book. So I'm assuming after Desert, I mean, you cannot complete Desert without a fire source. You might not want to complete Desert anyway.
There's also the Eastern Palace play that's open, though.
Yeah, DT might make that one. Revenant actually going straight to Agina first instead of doing Desert then Agina.
I think this makes sense. He knows he cannot beat the boss, so he can just save and quit either off the ledge if it were to have something, which it doesn't, or directly out of the dungeon. So I think this is fine.
Now, what would be really bad for DT is if the lamp is one of the early items in Desert, and then the other item is on the boss.
That wouldn't be pretty for him, but it would only really matter if the item on Landmola's was progression.
Yeah. Like if Landmo had the hammer, let's say.
Yes, that would be very bad for DT at this point. But at the same time, he's taking an Eastern Palace play that he cannot fully beat the boss of. But if it's got something in here, then Revenant's going to have to hightail it up to the other side of the world to get that.
All we need is, like, if we get flippers, we have excellent hookshot, but hookshot doesn't really do too much. Oh, there's King of Samaria in Pen and Desert. That's not immediate progression, but that's definitely something we're going to need later.
Yeah. So, small key in here. Last item could be on Landmola's, as you alluded to earlier. Could be somewhere else in the front of this dungeon. Regardless, unless that other item is like hammer level of progression, it's going to be real interesting to see when DT gets around to that cane.
Yeah, like he might not check Desert until he finds like flute, mids, mirror combination of some sort. Well, there's the second item in Desert. It's just 20 rupees. So King of Samaria was in Desert, but that's it.
But I do think that's actually both interesting and good for Revenant.
Ooh, but the hammers in the big chest of Eastern Palace. This is definitely looking like a double dip Eastern Sea. This is now Dark World access for DT.
Right. So while DT is in great shape for the current state of the race, he's the first one to Dark World access. That cane is going to be in Revenant's back pocket for a long time, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. There's a very good possibility that like Meyer happens to be a pendant and Flute is in GT and DT just last locations that gain hard last locations. Alright, so nothing else, but again, Revenant now in Eastern also, so he will get the hammer and be right behind DT as well.
Yep. Yeah, we do see DT. He is headed up for a Master Sword pedestal check before he heads up to the Dark World. But hopes are... they're called hopes for a reason.
Yeah, and the hope is now gone, as it's just a heart container.
Yeah, he is going to go straight into the Dark World from here, though. We'll see if he makes the Skull Woods play without the Fire Rod, or if he heads down to the village first. Did get that full magic refill off the bonk tree.
Yeah, I missed the metric was, but it says green pendant TR and Mr. Meyer is a crystal, so we will find a flute before anything else happens. So that's good for DT. He'll at least dip in the desert.
Yeah,
he'll definitely do. The mirror could be, yeah. I guess the mirror could be MIA also.
Yeah, the map check looked to me like vanilla 5/6 crystals, and then the pendant Turtle Rock and pendant Thieves Town.
Yeah. So the Bamos medallion is in
Skull Woods, yeah. But we've got Revenant going for Hype Cave to start his Dark World routing. I think he's going to be quite rewarded for that one. The Titan's mitts that Revenant has were in the Hype Cave.
Along with the Ether medallion, so all the medallions are now known information.
Yeah, well accounted for, and they're all fairly easy to get as well. Like, DT is obviously not going to miss Hype Cave for very long.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that Revenant will miss the middle of Skull Woods either.
The only way he really would skip that is like Fire Rod is in a bad location. That's one check that, but with a Samaria, he's probably going to check it anyway because it's fast with Samaria.
Yeah, we did see DT do the exact same thing. That middle room is so bad as a statue pull, but so good with Samaria. It's kind of silly. Although Revenant finding those mitts is actually pretty big, because it does mean that his his south route can go straight up into the village of outcasts. And
Well, you want to know where the mirror was? The mirror is on Bumper Ledge, so we will need to find the cape in the seed.
yeah, that's something. Honestly, I don't know how you would feel about that as a runner. Like, it's sort of reassuring to know where it is, but just to have it behind a fetch quest always feels quite bad.
I always prefer knowing where something is as opposed to not knowing where it is.
But then you don't know where the cape is, and it just becomes that instead.
Well, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. The cape is not in Swamp Palace.
I don't know, man. That is pretty bold.
I don't know if... Yeah, DT came from the north, so he missed Tempered Sword in the brewery and is just going straight into Thieves Town now, whereas RampantRevenant came from the bottom, got Tempered Sword, and is now doing Hammer Pegs because he has the bits already. But there's a bow in the front of Thieves Town. Interesting.
That's pretty big. But I don't think Revenant will miss that. And honestly, I don't think having the Tempered Sword actually helps that much. Like, the biggest thing that it enables in Thieves Town is you one-shot the red guys.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but it's not game-changing per se. I think between the half magic, the 20 rupees, we did see 3 items front of Thieves Town, so a lot of runners would choose to dip out at this point, and it would be quite justified because Pendant Thieves Town. But DT is not doing so here.
Here, let's see. Revenant, he's going to go into Thieves Town as well. We'll see if he leaves at the front 3.
DT did make it through the Hellway, no significant issues. Didn't get the God Pixel Dash or anything, unfortunately, but...
I mean, only on 2 hearts, has to be a little careful here, especially with still on green mail. These little slime balls will do that to you.
Yeah, that.
Now he probably leaves.
Yeah, I don't think it's that justifiable to go back in for one very slow item that could be as deep in as on the boss.
Alright, so I'm gonna get his Tempered Sword now, so that's good.
Yep, and then he'll go all the way down, retrace Revenant's footsteps, get his mitts, his ether medallion. Revenant should know about the... Well, he should go up north and retrace DT's steps, Skull Woods, the mirror, etc.
Or he's gonna go straight down.
Yeah. He doesn't have anything else to do down here. Is he just going to grab the smith and take it on a tour, I guess?
We're gonna Smith and then do, like, Skullwoods area.
Okay. That works.
I mean, DT probably not gonna do that because he knows where the mirror is, and this only hurts if the Swift Chain has the cape. Of course, Revenant's going to mirror now and be like, oh, okay.
Wait, can you go into the middle section of Skull Woods with the smith in tow?
I'm not sure. I've never tried it.
I know that you can drop down into the front section, but I don't actually know if he'll let you enter the dungeon through a proper door. And if he doesn't, then Revenant's actually going to miss that Bombos medallion for a while.
Yeah, can. Okay.
So yeah. The Bombos medallion is not someplace nice to see.
Meanwhile, DT and Hype Cave when they get that Ether medallion, so he is now doesn't remember medallions anymore. Gets that Titan's Miss as well. And we'll see what the next play is on DT's side. It might be Pod at this point.
Pod would be a fantastic play at this point, as long as the turtle room does not concern you without fire. And I mean, both of these runners are really good. It's just that that's a fairly specific thing that can easily go south. And I have seen runners of all levels shy away from that.
Yeah.
But
I try to have at least a fire rod for turtle room.
yeah, but if DT is feeling up to it, Pod is absolutely fully clearable. Nothing's going to be stopping him.
Yeah, the dark rooms will be out of logic because they are lamp required, but these runners will not need lamps. They'll need a fire source at some point, but they don't need lamps to get through this dungeon.
Right. And here we are. Just as a reminder, Pod, as usual, tons of keys in the front, has to have at least 4 in the first 6 checks. And then everything else is going to be in the back. Meanwhile, Revenant here is delivering the Smith. Going to need to knot his routing a bit to get Purple Chest out of this, but that can also be put off until basically whenever he feels like.
So Revenant is going to go to finish off Eastern first. Or maybe use the portal to go to the dark. I mean, I guess you do Eastern first because you know where the mirror is.
Yeah. And you know that it's hard to get. Yeah, not seeing much of note in this pod so far besides several small keys, as I mentioned before. But I think DT will be along to the back, not very far from now.
Ourselves. Our first item in pod is a bottle on the right side.
Yeah, alright, but when you already have one, it's underwhelming, to say the least.
PT1. We'll trouble hitting the crystal switch with the arrow here, but gets it done.
Yeah, the lineup for that with the bow is not exactly trivial, because if you're like just a pixel or two off in either direction, you'll do basically exactly what he did. Much easier to use the Cane of Samaria if you have it, which DT does not, has not been to Pendant Desert for that. In the meantime, Revenant here, Armos fight that most runners have done a great many times before.
I've never seen this fight before. How do you do it?
You see, you keep shooting arrows, and then eventually they just sort of all blow to dust or whatever that is. And if you kill the last one before it turns red, it doesn't actually regenerate.
See in the dark maze here. We can navigate his way through these 2 items.
Still doesn't look like he's found anything at all to note in this dungeon, which, even if half of it's out of logic with the dark rooms, that does surprise me a bit.
Yeah, I just want to see Revenant gonna go do the same thing here. Leave Eastern, hit the hammer pegs, and go into House of Darkness here.
Yep. You usually see this flute or this Dark World portal accessed by way of the flute, but when you don't have that, running from Eastern Palace also suffices. Also, just a fun fact for people, if you do have the flute and you're in a situation where you're out in the world and needing to get to the pyramid, that portal is faster than the one south of Link's house, I believe.
Meanwhile, we have ourselves an interesting situation on the DT side as the fire rod was lamp locked in the pod big chest.
That's interesting. Because like you said, that is logically hard lamp lock. That lamp is going to be somewhere. I say could be the next progression, but there's nothing in Skull Woods. So that seems a bit less likely at this point.
Could be the last item in Thieves Town.
True. But regardless, very nice to have that item for the turtles that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Now we do hear DT moving a wall. How exciting. We do have DT dealing with the turtle room all the way through it, no problem. He'll be in the Helmasaur fight shortly here. Just gonna smack a lot of hits to that helmet and then a few tempered sword slashes. Not a very difficult fight.
Yeah, but I mean, we're dealing with 5 hearts green mail, so one little slip up and, he hits with 2 hearts of damage to pop.
That is true. So, not a very difficult fight if you're practiced at it, but can still very easily go south. DT, no trouble at all.
Yeah, DT, he plays NMG a lot. He got that no problem. The tempered sword does make the fight a little easier than NMG does, but other than that, we were dealing with pretty much an NMG helmet fight here.
Yeah.
Hearts.
The hammer is the preferred NMG weapon for smacking Helmasaur's Jewel, but the tempered sword does the exact same damage and has much better range. And DT got a spin in there as well, which counted for 2 hits effectively.
Yeah, let's see. Let me see if I can put it nicely. The hammer hitbox sucks.
That's putting it pretty nicely, I agree.
Yeah.
We do have DT running out of pod here.
Okay. Not saving, quitting, and taking that fire rod information and going somewhere. Probably gonna go. Catfish doing there. I really think of here.
Yeah, pyramid, catfish. Because the fire rod, even though it's nice to have, it doesn't actually progress DT at the moment because we've seen both items. Or have we seen both items in Skullwoods? Now I'm second guessing myself. Thought we saw the Bombos and some cash.
Yeah, I think so. So in his mind, the answer is probably lamp somewhere to get up the mountain, and he might be looking for a way to shovel. Shovel food.
That could be his lamp. It could be a vanilla flute up the mountain as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's also gonna probably want to grab that hook shot before he does anything else up that mountain. Is it worth going out of your way? It's like an extra minute or 2 just to get the hook shot out of logic. It might be.
I mean, it's sort of 2 trains of thought there because you do get the save and quit point just for rescuing the old man. So that could be you get the hook shot when it's slightly more convenient for you, and then you make the East Death Mountain play off a save and quit. But there's definitely arguments both ways.
Alright, well, Catfish had nothing.
Yep. So there's the save and quit, and I would presume it's off somewhere with DT.
It's probably the mountain at this point. Track him out, and there's nothing up there. Grab the hook shot to go back. And unfortunately, Revenant takes a death. But I think that was the death warp. He got all the items.
Yeah. DT did the same.
Alright, okay. Zoom just had a little bit of money for us. And it looks like it will be the mountain play on DT side. Or the Skullwoods play. I got baited.
Okay, I think it's pretty clear at this point. I was misremembering, and we have only seen one item in Skullwoods. So that, plus it being a crystal, there's no reason not to go back to it at this point. Especially because just the likelihood of that one item being progression is really high right now. Like, actually, what do we even have left in Logic besides the back of Skullwoods and the shovel? Actually, wait, never mind. I lied. This fire rod's not in Logic even.
Yeah.
So it's like the shovel or the back of Thieves Town for the logical progression.
Yeah, I don't see anything else that could be. I guess, yeah, Purple Chest could be in Logic also. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, yes. Purple Chest is in Logic too. Well, on Revenant's side, we do see him going through the last segment of Pod to the boss. Fire Rod meant no trouble at all in Turtles. And he's just got a quick Helmasaur kill right ahead of him.
With only 4 hearts, this is 2-hit KO, so he's going to have to be a little careful here. There's 1 hit. He's got to be really... Gonna drink the red potion real quick, and then ensure he doesn't die here. Gets the fight done. Meanwhile, on DT side, we see the same thing. He took a red potion to Helmasaur with 3 hearts. Used it up to 2, because again, Helmasaur, Mothra's beams will do 2 hearts damage. But Mothra down and Blue Mail, well, there's your answer for all your defensive issues.
That's not too bad, but again, it doesn't progress the state of the race, so it's sort of... I don't think it's what DT was hoping to find.
No. But he got a crystal out of the way. And we'll see where he goes next.
Yeah, I've got to imagine it's either Thieves Town or the Smith for him.
Yeah, he's probably going back to Thieves Town because that was a play that he wanted to make and then died. And now he's maybe regretting that decision and wants to go back to just clean that up. He doesn't want to orphan that spot. Which, if it works out, because Revenant probably won't be going back there unless it's hard required.
Yeah, but at this point, if DT doesn't go right now, I don't think he will either.
Oh no, DT actually gonna go see the Smith first. Okay.
Yeah, and he's just got no choice but to save and quit after grabbing it, despite his muscle memory telling him otherwise. Unfortunately, once he gets done delivering this Smith, he'll be quite disappointed, but it'll basically put him and Revenant mostly on par with checks. I think Revenant will still have, like, King's Tomb and the actual Mothra fight to do.
And remember, DT still doesn't have that game of Samari out of the desert.
Yes, that is actually still a big one for Revenant, because there is no incentive at all for DT to go to the desert right now, unless the flute, or the shovel for the flute spot somehow doesn't pay. Although I guess if he's got the purple chest, he could just go straight there after turning that in, because he'd be right next to it, instead of going to the dig spot from there. But I think one of the, like, either the purple chest or the dig spot has got to pay out. Because if not either of them, then it's a really ugly back of Thieves Town play. Well, okay. That's hammer pegs for DT. Grabbing the chest here. He's going to have to save and quit again. And then he can escort it, and we'll see where he goes after that turn-in.
You're going to make the ped check now before going back to the Dark World.
Yeah, with no indication that that mirror is going to be anytime soon. Especially if he intends to clear Skullwoods now with that fire rod, there's not really a better time to do it.
Yeah. Let's see what Purple Chest has here.
It's trash. But DT is going to the desert.
Well, he will get both items out of here. One of them will be very happy to get, which is the Cane of Samaria. And he knows he will never have to come back here again.
Yeah, like,
but
unfortunately. We're
really getting bottlenecked here on where to go. It's probably going to end up being back of Thieves Town, I think. There's nothing else left for us.
It's a 50-50 between that and the flute spot.
So I was just the flute spot first.
Yeah, and ultimately, I was hoping that cane advantage that Revenant had might come to something intriguing later on in the race, but it's not going to with DT making this desert play. Of course, we do finally get Revenant headed back into Skull Woods, which he was holding the Smith earlier that's blocked him, so he'll pick up his Bombos Medallion and get a Moth kill while he's in the area. And this is a region he won't have to worry much about going forward. Now, where is DT going? I would imagine flute spot, but...
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Or, wait, what?
Is he just screw it hook shot?
He's gonna get the hook shot, yep.
Yeah.
So what you gotta do here is you gotta store another water walk, and then instead of water walking into fake flipper mode, you fake flipper, and then you have the water walk stored when you jump from the Zor area to go get the ledge.
He's not storing a water walk here, though. He's just going to splash delete it, right?
Oh, he went to the Mini Moldorm Cave.
Oh, okay, sorry. I had a moment and just totally... Yeah, you're right. So he could have splash deleted that, but this water walk fake flipper solution is generally more well-known and elegant. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that if you try to do this yourself, you do have to get that fake flipper first try. Failing it will disarm the water walk.
So very, very carefully. Then you also have to dodge all of the Zoras here. Dodge all of the land while swimming through here. I mean, I've done this before in races. It's good strategy if you need to get this item really badly.
Yeah, it was definitely a more common play before Splash Delete was known about and understood.
Yeah. I, as someone who still doesn't understand or know Splash Delete, I still prefer this. But DT got it, no problem.
Yep. Good swimming. Now I would imagine it's off to the flute spot for him. Or the mountain.
or a flute spot, then no.
Yeah. Although, is DT the absolute madman? I think DT's the absolute madman
He's
here,
gonna bring an
Randall.
ice palace. Oh god.
Yeah, he will still have to find the flippers at some point. This play does not let him skip flippers this seed because we do have a Swamp Palace requirement.
Yeah.
But it's certainly an interesting play.
I can dig it. It's a crystal dungeon. It's a 5/6 crystal no less. You can full clear it. Now you have Samaria, you have Fire Rod, you have Hookshot. So it's gonna be very trivial to just go through here, get 3 items, and be on your way.
Yeah. He is basically hard gambling that his progression on, regardless of whether it's the flute spot or the back of Thieves Town, is the flippers into Hookshot, like as the hard next progression.
I guess you figure you logic broke the Fire Rod, you logic broke the Hookshot. Let's just logic broke the entire dungeon also while we're at it.
Yeah. But basically, if his read is right, and this could pay off so huge if he gets extra efficiency out of these checks.
Oh yeah.
Like, his teammate JP is in chat saying if he finds the flute or the cape, then yeah, that would be real big.
You can narrow down where the flippers have to be, for instance. You see Icebreaker. Got a few extra pause buffers here and there.
Yeah.
And there's the flute, just as JP predicted. Oh my gosh.
So, yes.
Yes, that paid off.
I think this does pretty heavily narrow down the next progression is very likely the flippers at either the dig spot or the back of Thieves. Revenant's going to show us the dig spot here really shortly.
Yeah, there's the flippers. That's like you said. Okay. So now Revenant, this part is going to take that straight to Ice Palace here. Maybe... Oh, no, he doesn't have the mirror, so yeah, straight to Ice Palace.
Yeah. So DT, with the big reads and the absolute madman plays paying off big for him, puts him in wonderful shape right now.
Alright, Revenant is going to go finish off those 2 checks he skipped earlier when he water walked a hobo.
Yeah. He will be picking up his own hook shot fairly soon as well.
DT did not check the iced tea room, I don't think. So...
I'm pretty sure he found all 3 items already.
Okay.
Because I know there was the flute, and then there was bombs in the big chest, and I think there was a 3rd one, but I cannot remember what it is.
There's bombs in the penguin room.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, everything else is going to be keys and match compass.
Yeah. And...
Pretty good fight.
Yeah. Dead Cold Stare. Half Magic and Fire Rod is really great, but even if Cold Stare gets... If you can keep Cold Stare in the corner, which DT did for a while, that's even better. But it's the best disaster recovery strat you can possibly want for Cold Stare there.
Yeah. So now DT has to assume that either the lamp or the flippers have to be in one of the 2 spots he skipped.
Yeah.
Lamp would have given him Death Mountain access, flippers would have given him that flute, which is Death Mountain access. And he's probably going to go turn the shovel in, get those flippers, and then go straight to activate the flute and then go up the mountain.
Yeah, I can see that, especially if he south routes in like he is.
Yeah.
Although I do think that there is a case to be made for just continuing to skip the dig spot until you've been on the mountain, or until you want to go into Swamp Palace. Because basically you go to the mountain, you presumably find the flippers up there if they're not on the dig spot, and then you can just skip the dig spot entirely unless you really want the lamp. But that's not what DT went for here. And that is a risk if he were to do that. It would save him a few seconds, but big risk. Revenant? Is that just on our end, I guess?
I think it was just some was supposed to press the wrong button on the restream.
Unfortunate. We will
You want
try
to see the top right corner of a stream, what it looks like? There you go.
We'll try to get it sorted out.
And up the mountain for DT. Well, have to get some potions. We are still on only 7 hearts, so I do not mind a potion buying there.
Yeah, definitely not bad. Blue mail helps a lot, but it's hard to be too safe. Although we do have DT in the Mire area, which this is a 5/6 crystal that he can fully clear with the items he has. We'll have to do a few dark rooms, but that's not too bad, especially if you've got practice on them.
Yeah.
And to recap for chat a little bit, I believe Cape is the last the last item we need for Go Mode this seed, the last one we haven't seen. And the reason it's the Cape is because we saw the mirror earlier on the bumper ledge. So Cape will get us the mirror, which lets us get into Swamp Palace, and we can reach and clear every crystal dungeon aside.
Yeah. So we might not have to go to Death Mountain at all until we have to, beat Hera and then immediately beat GT right afterwards.
Yeah, that would be the dream for sure. The 0 mountain climb seed. But at this point, the Cape can be anywhere outside of Swamp Palace and Ganon's Tower and the mirror locked locations, so we'll see how that goes.
I guess Revenant was not counting his items because he's going to Ice Tea Room.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in Misery Mire here, we did have key in the spike chest that we saw not long ago. But gotta find that big key. Gotta presumably find both items just to make sure that Cape is not getting left behind.
Well, the big key being in the first chest on the left side is always a good sign. But DT is going to go check the second chest on the left side anyway.
Yeah, they're really slow chests that most of the time you don't want to check, but when you're still looking for items, it's really hard to justify skipping it because it's just so hard to get back to. Anyways, while DT continues exploring Misery Mire and not finding the goods, Revenant did clear Ice Palace, which equals out, well, no, it does not equal out the dungeons. He actually has the Armos kill in his back pocket that DT's going to have to go back for at some point. It's going to be pretty quick, especially with the flute, but that is time that DT is not as ahead as he looks. Let's put it that way. But DT's in Go Mode.
Yep. Time to keep in Misery Mire. So DT has routed this 100% correct. We'll see if Revenant will be right behind him. If he is, it'll be very close. Revenant is still in this if we go straight to Mire right now.
Yep. If he's drawn to the allure of the density of the mountain, though, then that's going to be rough for him.
And it looks like he is going to Mire.
Okay, very good sign for Revenant here.
So Revenant might have a slight lead at this point, but again, we are going to see dark rooms here. So dark rooms could trip people up.
Yeah. Yeah, that fireball shooter in my ear when DT's doing this dark room holding his sword out. Yeah. Yeah, it's basically at this point, Revenant is the mire clear more or less behind, because DT is most of the way through that dungeon as Revenant's about to enter it. But the counterbalancing factor there is Armos.
Yeah, the Armos being down already is definitely a big sign for a big plus for Revenant here.
Yeah, I think ultimately it comes out about even.
I think Revenant has a slight lead personally, but it's very close.
Yeah, regardless of whether I'm misjudging times or not here, it's definitely real close. But DT is out of the dark, no problem. Just got to get into the Viddy fight here. And he's going for Cape Dash strats. With the Tempered Sword, I don't actually like this over spins. I think it is slower. But with Half Magic especially, no denying that it is effective. And he can just lodge arrows in the big eye, and that is Vitreous down.
It's slightly slower, but it's a lot safer. Unless you do spin strats with the cape, of course.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if these are almost right now, instead of grabbing Mirror first, we will have a sense of idea of where our runners are at against each other.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, we might have to wait till they're both on the mountain for the first and only time this seed to have. Sorry.
Oh, it depends on when DT the swamp, I guess.
Yeah, because if DT doesn't go to, if DT goes and gets the mirror immediately, then goes to swamp, Eastern will be the last thing he does before the mountain is all.
Yeah, I'm going to get the mirror now.
Yep. Now, where is he going to flute to after he gets the mirror? Ultimately, it doesn't matter very much because he's got to do both things, and the flute and the mirror means there's no real time difference to doing one before the other. But if he does Eastern first, like you said, we'll be able to get a sense of the distance here.
It's very rare to see a seed where you don't have to go up the mountain for anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the last time I saw one of these seeds, and it was forever ago for sure. It's not common. But here, DT is off to the eastern area, so gonna kill Armos before Argus.
So we will have an idea of where our runners are when they enter Swamp Palace at the same time, basically. And yes, Rev does know that Mirror is there. He checked it when he had the Spiff. So he just grabbed the cape also, and he is now also in go mode.
Right.
Now it looks like the problems that we've had behind the scenes are now making its way to the front of the scenes.